Today on review, we are looking at Batman Arkham City for the Xbox 360, also available on the PC and PlayStation 3. Arkham City is called the sequel to the critically acclaimed Batman Arkham Asylum for Rocksteady. And here we are now, a couple years later, and some major changes have happened here. But not all of them are bad here. I will get to the small details of badness later on in the review. But pretty much the story of Batman Arkham City is, of course, half of Gotham had been flooded and been quarantined into a prison camp with every fairly known name under the book had been thrown in here, including Catwoman, Two-Face, Penguin, Bane, Joker, and so on and so on. But the main story mainly involved a Batman going to Arkham City, which, with an intro that seemed a little abrupt, but at the same time a very interesting and very heart-pumping intro. And if a lot of it wasn't exactly explained. But then again, they did release a prequel comic, which will probably be linking Arkham Asylum into Arkham City. So, if you're really curious, you might want to check that out. But as far as the game is concerned, you're in Arkham City looking for Hugo Strange, which keep rambling on over the loudspeaker about a Protocol 10, which you're not exactly for sure what this is. And throughout the game, he continued counting down to this, which at about a 75% mark, you will find out what it is. And also, the other villain in this is called the Joker, who had been poisoned from the incident of Arkham Asylum, and pretty much have wiggled his way into getting Batman to help him before he dies. And of course, you have the figuring out what Hugo Strange doing, and dealing with the Joker, and trying to help him right along with all the random other side missions you can do, with many of the side missions ending in a miniature boss fight with so-and-so's villain. And some of them are a little outside of the box here, and not exactly A-name characters in the Batman franchise. But then again, that was also what was great about Arkham Asylum. The only thing is, problem-wise here, it don't seem to have nearly as many villains as Arkham Asylum did. You still get a handful amount, and you get great detail to figure out who they are through your codex and looking up what issue they showed up, time period, and so on. So for the comic nut here, or someone who's just really curious about these villains, you get plenty of detail if you so desire to look into it. But on the gameplay sense of it, and now since this is Arkham City, it's a lot bigger area, more open, but it's not as big as it might seem starting out. It's about equal to maybe one of the cities in Assassin's Creed, to give you a little side comparison here. But at the end of the day, from it being a little more smaller, you have great detail across the face. Every part of Arkham City is unique and easily can be memorized by certain landmarks. And of course, if you go down on the street, you will find any more creeks and corners, which will lead into more side missions. And of course, the Riddle puzzle return, with you trying to collect Riddle trophies, and also solve his puzzles. And the distance here is, as you solve a certain amount of them, you will get a mission from him which involve you saving survivors. And later on, probably ending in a fight with him. At the time of that review, I have not done the Riddle fight because of time restraints. But the only other real distance from Arkham Asylum here is, of course, now Batman starts out with all his weapons. This is not exactly a Metroid game anymore. You start out and you just upgrade as you go along. But not totally a bad thing, any if that is sadly missed a little bit. The combat is still time-based of counter-attack, with some new things toward in, and a little more challenge toward in the composition of the fighting, with random villains toward in, such as some with guns, some with knives, stun sticks, and so on, would keep the fighting interesting. And of course, in little extras, is you also still have the trial event, which involve you taking down so many enemy in a time limit, combo count, clearing a room, and so on. And of course, as you play them, you will unlock little medals, which will unlock any more stuff. But on top of that, you also have, if you buy the game new, the Catwoman DLC, or $10 if you buy it used. But at the time of that recording, I didn't have access to the review code for Catwoman, so I can't really comment on what she add. So, bet probably at a later date me go into more detail about that. But overall, the only real problem Batman has is a little bit of drawing, but and detail popping in and out. But then again, that kind of affected a game of this size. But overall, I can't really find anything beyond that long kill. The voice acting is fantastic with cheesiness of the 90s Batman, which many Batman fans, including myself, hold at the pinnacle of the Batman animation series, with original voice acting for Court the Joker and Batman Returning with a couple others. So the game is more or less, as I stand right now, more likely going to be my game of the year. So in return, I give Batman Arkham City a
1, 2, 3.
a 5 out of 5.
Today's video is sponsored by the Knights of the Video Game Roundtable, which can be found at kvgtpodcast.com. The Norgasm Network Video Game Podcast, which can be found at norgasmnetwork.com. The Tiltcats, which can be found at tiltcats.com. The Carousel Podcast, which can be found at thecarouselpodcast.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, which is, of course, @HPlayInfo.